Hi, it's attorney Nate DeLadurantey. Today we're going to talk for a few minutes about disputing credit reporting errors. If you need specific legal advice, this video is not that. You are welcome to contact my office, and we're always happy to chat, and more information about how to do that at the end of the video. So let's jump right in. When we look at credit reporting errors, we're going to talk first about the initial steps. What you need to do is get a current copy of your credit report. The answer that's pretty obvious on why, and we need to make sure that you've got the most current and accurate information. Credit reports are always changing. Information comes and goes. We need to make sure that if you're going to dispute it, you're disputing the right information. Just a pro tip, background checks, or sometimes called background reports when you're applying for employment or something similar to that, are governed by the same area of law, and the process for this is largely the same. So you get your credit report, you look through it, and oh my word, you see information that is not correct. This could be something like a wrong name, a wrong address, a wrong phone number, a social security number that's not yours. It could be an account that's not yours, or it's your account and the information that's on it is incorrect. Wrong balances, wrong payment histories, something of that nature. Now, the key is when we're talking about errors, these need to be errors that are either false or, when viewing your credit report, are misleading. And that's kind of the standard on the type of errors that we look for. Your next step is sending a dispute letter. We'll talk more about that on our next slide. However, once you send that dispute letter in, you need to wait for your results. Now, one thing that we do notice is that people who are the victims of identity theft, or if the credit bureaus have your information mixed up with someone else's credit report or credit file, your dispute results may not actually go to your address. So if you've sent a letter in saying, this address isn't mine, and you wait 30, 45, 60 days and you've not heard anything back from the credit bureaus, it may be that those results went to the wrong person. If so, go to this and wait to the end of the video. You'll see our contact information, how to schedule a consult, and we'll talk more then. Now, let's talk about these dispute letters, right? How do we do them? What do they need to say? First off, be specific. There's no magic language. There's no required language other than you need to tell them, number one, what's wrong, two, why it's wrong, and three, that you want them to either fix it or remove it depending on the nature of the error. Don't be coy. Don't try to put in some random language to confuse anyone or to do something that would otherwise obscure what you're trying to convey. Act like you're talking to somebody and explaining in plain, simple English what needs to get fixed. Now, if you've got supporting documentation, for example, one of your creditors is showing a balance and you've got written documentation that you paid it off, include that. Include anything that could be deemed a supporting document. You want the people or team of people looking at your letters to have everything they need at hand to know that you're right. Now, we always tell our clients to send their letters in via registered certified mail, something with a tracking number, so we can document that it arrives. People often ask me about the ability to do a dispute over the phone. I strongly advise against that, and here's why. You want to create a paper trail. You don't want to wind up in a situation where you're saying one thing and then this other employee on the other end of the phone has a different story about what occurred. Provide it in written format, best, safest, and secure. The same goes for online disputes. There is the ability to do that on occasion. I suggest against it because there are situations where doing an online dispute can have large ramifications if we wind up in a lawsuit. Namely, that you could be forced out of what we call normal court and into a privatized court system called arbitration, and you don't want that to happen. So, U.S. mail to the rescue, and that's your best bet. Next, you want to make sure that you include identification documents. You may ask, what's an identification document? It's information and documentation that allows the credit bureaus to make sure that you are you. Now, we're going to talk first about your address. You need to provide something that shows that you live at the address that the letter is coming from. This can be a utility bill, a phone bill, a credit card statement, a mortgage statement, property taxes. You get the drift. Just don't include junk mail because that doesn't help anyone. The next is some form of photo ID. i.e. a driver's license or state identification card. We also ask that you include something that verifies your social security number. This could be a W-2 from an employer or a copy of your social security card. Make copies of that and you'll be good on that front. Now, what happens if you hear back from the credit bureaus and the errors are still there? There's a body of law called the Fair Credit Reporting Act. It's a federal statute that gives you, the consumer, specific rights about the accuracy of the information on your credit report. If there are errors, there may be liability for both the credit bureau and the creditor, debt collector. In the legal jargon, we call them furnishers of information, the people whose name and information are reporting accounts to your credit. The statutes at play convey an ability to seek a variety of damages. Too hard and too many nuances to talk about in this particular video, but suffice it to say, if we're at this point, we'll have a long conversation about what those look like and how they're calculated and what you might be entitled to. If you have any questions or you need to talk through issues related to a potential case involving your credit report, you're always welcome to schedule a meeting online. You can contact my paralegal, Ethan Webb. His email address and direct line is there on the screen. It's super helpful for that consult if you can get us copies of the credit reports, your dispute letters, so make sure you save those, and the results that you got back from the credit bureaus. I hope you found this video helpful. If so, feel free to drop a comment, or more importantly, leave us a like at the end.